Everybody doing? Today is the 15th of November 2025, and I'm going to be doing something a little different on this channel. And hopefully maybe these videos will actually get out there. This channel has been blocked, blacklisted, sabotaged for years. But I'm going to be talking about a little bit of different topics. It still goes along with what my mission is here on YouTube for the Most High, which is to warn people about the fallen angels that are real, that are now manifesting everywhere, and just talk about a lot of spiritual things. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear, those with an open mind and heart will get this and won't be saying, oh, she's insane. Okay? This stuff is real. What they put in the movies is actually real. And they want people that talk about it to be considered crazy, saying, oh, you watch too many movies. I very rarely watch any movies anymore. But I'm going to talk about a specific creature, fallen angel, in this video, and I will try to keep this under 10 minutes if I can, maybe 15 minutes, but we'll see. Okay, so it'll be a little easier to follow because I talk about multiple things in my videos. I'll just start rolling and say whatever the Lord has, shared with me to share with y'all. So this is going to be a little bit different though. All right, so like I said, I've been warning people about the fallen angels since I started this channel in 2016, and you didn't hear about it like you're hearing about it now. That's because we are so close to the end and they are coming out of the woodwork. But I have been being hunted by the fallen my entire life. I just didn't know what was going on, until the Lord woke me up, which was, I started waking up really about 2008. 2012 is really when my bam, Shazam moment happened. And funny enough, in the movie Interview with a Vampire, when they become a vampire, they say, open your eyes and see with your new eyes or something like that. That's what it's like when you wake up to the truth, when the Lord calls you out of the darkness, right? And I'm going to be exposing vampires, which are real, but they are nothing more than fallen angels who don't die. Okay, they are locked on this planet until the Most High's judgment, which is coming. So they're now really manifesting. And this just came to me, and I wanted to share it with y'all and start sharing with y'all some stories of things, bizarre things that have happened to me. Mostly they took place in New Orleans, which is a portal. Lots of demonic activity. Everybody's heard about it, right? Most of these things happened while I lived in New Orleans, which I've lived there off and on for over 25 years total. If you take all the times, like I'll live there for a year, then I'll move for a year, then I'll live for 2 years, then move away for like 6 months, stuff like that, right? So this takes place in New Orleans back in 2001, okay? And I had just moved back to the city. I had lived there in 1999, partied like it's 1999, but didn't stay very long. And then I had just moved back, and this is where I lived. Okay, not the whole house, and it didn't look this nice back then. It still looks spooky, doesn't it? But it was like peeling paint. It was dumpy, okay? And these were 4 apartments. They were split into 4. And I lived on this one upstairs. And I don't know if y'all can see. Oh, wow, they don't have the French doors anymore. It had French doors, y'all, that swung open. So this was a window, but this was a door here. You can't see it. And it was French doors, okay? That's going to be important for what I'm about to tell y'all happened to me. And this is one of many, many, many bizarre things that happened, okay? And they've happened in other cities and states as well, but the main one was New Orleans. Okay, so this was I'm going to say this happened at the beginning of 2001. I moved there at the very beginning, like January. I think I moved there the 2nd or 3rd of 2001. And I had not had any weird experiences in New Orleans the other time when I lived there, which I only lived there 3 or 4 months. So this was some new ventures for me. But anyway, I was up here asleep, or so I thought, and I had a dream that Alec Baldwin, yes, that's right, that Alec Baldwin, the sharpshooter, flew in my room. I didn't see him enter. I just looked up and he was hovering over me as I thought I was asleep. And it was like I couldn't move. And he bit me on the neck. And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I went and looked in the mirror because my neck felt sore. And I had bite marks. 2 bite marks on my neck. Like how they show vampires would bite. And I was like, what the heck? So I kind of brushed it off because I thought it was a dream, and I thought, well, an insect must have bit me on the neck, and my dream just made it seem like it was that. But I'm like, why that guy? I didn't even know who he was, y'all. I knew he was an actor. Like, I recognized his face. I don't forget faces. But I wasn't even sure of his name back then. He wasn't like famous for all the antics he's done, right? So I had to research. And I don't think I figured out who he was for a while because I didn't even have internet back then. But later on, I came to find out that it was Alec Baldwin. Okay? So that was the first incident. And then maybe 5 days to a week later, again, I was asleep. And this time, I saw the French doors, which aren't there anymore, but like, just imagine where this door was. They were very narrow French doors that swung open, okay? And you pulled them open if you're on the inside. So if you were on the balcony, you would push them, right? And what I saw when I thought I was dreaming was green smoke or fog come from under the French doors and then fill them up, and then they swung open like the fog pushed them open. And then it was Alec Baldwin. And he floated over, the room was small. It's just one room, and then I had a little kitchen and bathroom. And he floated over from the French doors and hovered over me again. This time, I said the name Jesus, and I woke up. I did not have bite marks the second time this happened. But what I did notice, because I went to the mirror first, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Then I look, and the French doors were open. I 100% know I shut them. Even if you're upstairs, you don't go to sleep with your doors open in NOLA, okay? And I know I shut them. Plus, it was cold out. So that's my Alec Baldwin story. But here's where it gets weirder. So where was this house? Well, it was on Pertania Street. Pertania Street, this was in 2001, okay? Pertania Street also happens to be, let's see, where Interview with a Vampire was filmed. I think it was 4 years later or something. It was filmed on Pertania Street, and one of the main places that they showed in the movie was Lafayette Cemetery, number 1. This is the cemetery. They don't even allow you to go in there. It's very strange in New Orleans. You have to pay for a tour and go on a guided tour to get into these cemeteries. Not all, but a few, and this is one of them. And I just researched it, and it said it's temporarily closed, which I find weird. But they won't let you just go walk around like other cemeteries. This is the cemetery. Okay. It's very spooky. I just Googled, I Googled it. And I've walked around there, but I've actually never gone in there. Let me go back. Clickety clack. So this cemetery is a little less than half a mile from where I was living, where that happened. Also, the writer of the book, Interview with a Vampire, not Interview of the Vampire, Interview with a Vampire, whatever the Mandela effect is, was Anne Rice. And she lived 1 mile from where I lived when this happened. Okay, so very, very strange. But then I Googled, did Alec Baldwin, just now, I never thought to do this before, did Alec Baldwin film any movies in New Orleans? Well, what do you know? He did. Heaven's Prisoners. Do you see the irony of this? They are locked in prison. They can never ascend. They can never go back. The Most High God has cast them out of heaven. They're prisoners. What did he play in this movie? I've never seen it. I think I'm going to see it. I think I'm going to watch it. I never even heard of it. He played a cop. And a lot of y'all that have been following this channel, which mostly are stalkers, but there's a few real ones, have known that cops have done a lot of wicked things to me over the years, falsely accused and set up many times. And I find it interesting that he plays a cop in New Orleans. So I don't know what the movie's about, but I think I might watch it. Okay, and then we know Interview with a Vampire a lot of it was filmed in New Orleans, and it was actually on the same street where Alec showed up. So yes, vampires are real, but what they are is fallen angels, and they're among us. And I have many other stories, but never a story of being bitten again. I believe when I said the name Jesus, and back then I really wasn't following the Lord. I always believed in Yeshua, Jesus, but I wasn't, what I'm doing now, I was not doing then, okay? I was still in the world, but not of the world, okay? And so these creatures have been hunting me, and they hunt all true targeted individuals, I believe, are hunted by the fallen, because we are fathers, and they're slamming doors right now. They're always around me. We are the Most High God's angels, and we were all up there together. The fallen know who we are because we were up there together. And they hate us because they ain't us, because they can't ever ascend again. So the fact that this popped up or made me think about it today, I'm thinking something's going to go down with him. Either he's going to fake his death, because they don't die. They can't die, y'all. Okay. It says, men's hearts will fail them for fear of what is coming on this earth. They will seek to die, but not be able to. That is in Scripture. But what else is interesting is he also played in another, I guess, goofy movie that I've never heard of either, called The Last Shot. Okay? And it stars Matthew Broderick, good old Baldwin. But it also has Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta is also a fallen angel vampire. And he actually was hunting my best friend that they killed. They shot her in the head years ago at the age of 44. Her name was Lynn Venus. He followed her around before in New Orleans, and he actually happened to meet her daughter while her daughter was, actually, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Ray Liotta didn't meet Lynn's daughter. He met Sister Karen, Sarah Forthcalling, who's gone home to be with Jesus. And y'all know she was my best friend. And she had her channel, Sarah Forthcalling, and then that got taken down. And then her last channel was very small. It wasn't up very long. And it was called Karen, a Warrior Against the Darkness. Well, not her, but her daughter had a run-in with him in a completely different state, okay? These are fallen angels. I've also met Brad Pitt in New Orleans. He and Angelina Jolie were at a coffee shop, and he was standing in front of me, and she was hiding behind a newspaper sitting in the cafe, and they had a house in New Orleans. I don't know if they still do. But he is a fallen angel. Brad from the bottomless pit, and she's a fallen angel. Angelina, Angel, Lena, okay? They're fallen angels. Nick Cage, also have some stories about him in New Orleans, which I won't get into here. I was going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. I don't know how long I've been squawking now. But anyway, New Orleans is a portal, and I have many, many other stories. If y'all would like to hear, put it in the comments. If y'all want me to make videos about each of the stories, or I might just make one video with several stories in them. But some of these need to have their own video just for the one incident, because there's a lot of bizarre things. Lots of bizarre things that happen. And some weren't in New Orleans, but most were. Anyway, the whole point is, Alec Baldwin was also in this movie. And what did he play? He played a cop. And I've told y'all that Satan's army, our own military, the law enforcement, the government, they work for Satan. Whether they know it or not, they work for Satan. Some are not wicked. They don't know what's going on. They've been dumbed down, especially after the shot in the dark, right? But a lot of the high up ones, they're fallen angels, all right, including FBI. Oh, he's FBI. Okay, that's what it was. FBI agent. And these creatures are always around me. Them, CIA, and the Popo. So these are fallen angels that we're actually battling. All right, so I just found that interesting that they'll have their buddies, their other fallen, in these movies with them. Okay, and then talking about New Orleans and vampire, there is a vampire that I've heard about. I personally have never seen him, but his name was Jacques Saint Germain, and he has been spotted since 1902. And there's many stories about him being a vampire. This will be too long, but y'all can research him, or if you want me to do a video on him, I will. But there's been many sightings of him over the years, and he still looks the same age, because they don't age, they're fallen. So they will make themselves look older. They need blood to look younger. Just think of the Kardashian mom now. You think that's a facelift? No. She is a fallen angel and a witch. Okay? This stuff is real. So, let's see. Anything else? All right, well, I'll just keep it right. I'll end it with that. But like I said, this is real. Because Father reminded me of this, I believe something's going to take place with him. He might fake his death or something. I don't know. Or Father just might be wanting me to expose what's going on now. But most all of Hollywood are fallen angels. So we got that going for us. Anyway, Jesus protected me. The name Jesus protected me multiple times from multiple attacks, from multiple demonically possessed people and fallen angels. So just remember, you're not to have fear, but have faith in the Most High God and call on the name of Jesus, and He will protect you.